What a sight it is. Rugby league in Tamworth at NRL level for the first time. And the crowd getting right into it. And Essie with the opening hit up. Saifiti, the late inclusion in the number 18 jumper. Thought he was lining up for one, but they went to Fitzgibbon instead, who's been so impressive out on the left edge. Now, Nathan Ross. And he picks up some metres. The ball comes loose. And there was a West Tigers arm stripping it out. It's a penalty to the Knights.
Wait for it. Just wait up.
Benji tried to pull the arm out of there, but he was deemed to have given it away.
And don't be surprised if you see a lot more traffic come down this left edge for the Newcastle Knights, straight at Benji Marshall. I think he knows it too. He's gone to the wing in defence off the set start.
Ross just taps it and goes, running at Esan Masters, who makes opponents feel his hits. Solid player is Esan. Now Fitzgibbon. Setting them up inside the 20. West Tigers haven't had the ball yet. And they're kicking early. Up they go. Kenny Dow, what about the hands? And Matautia keeps it in as well. That was a miracle take from Kenny Dow. Midway through the tackle count. Now Cogger gets his hands on it. Barnett back from that one-game suspension. Pearce. Fitzgibbon, their best try scorer so far this season with 4. Marshall holding on a long, long time and too long.
2 in a row. Not quick. One, boys.
There we go. Benji almost getting an early warning. 2 penalties against him.
I love that set from the Newcastle Knights. Just a little kick in behind Watani Zelezniak, just to remind he and Nguama, if they're going to play up and in and aggressive defence, as Mitchell Pearce signals for the 2, well, then they're going to have to be wary of the kick behind. The hands from Sean Kenny Dow was quite astonishing. There's the early set play. You could see Brooks and Nguama up in field. Zelezniak did well, but that take, phenomenal.
And we're going to see some special footy tonight, you'd imagine, because this playing surface, the locals are calling it the best in the NRL. You were just out there. What do you make of it?
I have to admit, it is up there. You know, Shark Park's one that springs to mind, Wynn Stadium at Wollongong. The throw in Mudgee, the rural ground, was a standout as well, particularly for a rural venue, but it's special here, Speedy.
And this guy is a special talent. 16 from 20 with the boot this season. Just 33% last week against the Storm, where the Knights struggled. And not quite in off the upright. The West Tigers have possession for the first time after the miss from Ponga. So Knights fans will be saying you should have gone for the try. Driven back. Barnett got in there to help out Matautia. Cogger getting involved as well. Little's the dummy half, of course. Josh Aloye in the number 11 jumper, normally reserved for Chris Lawrence, who was left at home. If this game was in Sydney, Lawrence would be playing, but with a hamstring concern, he didn't make the flight to Tamworth. Now Madalena. Little goes down the short side to Brooks. Ponga elects to let it bounce, and he ushers Kenny Seo back inside. Let's go down to the sideline with Hannah Hollis. What about these exceptional conditions?
Good evening, Brent. And yeah, you and Mark Gasnier touched on it just before. This track is perfect tonight. Not a blade of grass is out of place. Every team is going to want to play here after tonight. And there is a slight breeze moving across from the hill to the grandstand, but it's not enough to create an advantage just yet.
So the penalty count is 3-0 in the opening 5 minutes. You'd think that's a straightforward shot for Ponga. Maybe that Zephyr of a breeze Hannah reference just pushed it towards that left upright. Here's Saifiti with his first hit up in his 50th game in the NRL. Daniel, that is. Jacob will come off the bench. Now Essie. Had the arm free. No one looming up in support. Griffin wants a quicker play the ball. Pearce. Mitch Barnett off his shoulder. Cogger was in motion as well. They keep coming to the left. Pearce. Fitzgibbon. Ponga was looming, wasn't he? Now Griffin. Crash play. Can he put it down? Some effort to try and hold him up.
Tackle 5.
And they've achieved it. That's a brilliant effort by Corey Thompson.
Corey Thompson, great contact. Mitch Barnett was flying to hold him up over the line there. He had all the momentum, Barnett. Great defence.
It is the last, and they didn't know it because they went for a one-off-the-ruck play to Essie, and Slade Griffin says, I never heard the call of last.
Well, Mitchell Pearce threw his hands in the air. Well, actually, Josh Alloway. Wow.
Yeah, Thompson might have struggled in the same situation, but Alloway is a really big presence in that second row position. He's played a bit of middle in recent weeks. Pass out the back, missed its mark. Brooks was a little late trying to tidy up. Elijah Taylor does and stays in the field of play, only just. Here's Thompson. 7th game for the West Tigers. They're asking for their first penalty. Little scoot out of dummy half, nearly opened them up. It was an awkward coming together between Guerra and Barnett. Now the kick from Benji. He's been practicing the spirals. This one not perfect. Dipped for Ponga.
He's caused opposition fullbacks all sorts of nightmares. Early in 2018 has Benji Marshall. Was striking them beautifully in the warm-up. Just early, Newcastle Knights have done a really good job on the back three of the West Tigers.
Guerra got rid of Brooks, but there was support for the halfback defensively. Now Saifidi and Aloye is defending in the middle right now. Now Essie. Flicked it out the back to Barnett. More strong work defensively from the West Tigers. Congo with the kick. Hanging in the air, not quite long enough for the chasers. And away comes Wateni Zalesniak. And there is a penalty.
Barnett, you're inside the 10. You're inside the 10 in front of the kicker.
So the birthday boy from earlier in the week is the sinner here.
I'll come through, mate.
Yeah.
Taree born Mitch Barnett in front of Cogger as he kicked, according to the referee. He played the ball, of course, and he's about 5 metres in front of the kicker. He didn't need to get involved, really, either. Poor penalty to give away. Moved on by Eisenhuth to Rocco. Former Newcastle Knight, Robbie Rocco. Benji. Thompson joins the line. Great meters again from this no-frills fullback who Ivan Cleary just loves. Down the short side for Benji. Cut-out pass to the milestone man, Nagama. Getting away from tacklers, searching crossfield, slipped through Barnett's attempted tackle. Best field position for the West Tigers so far. Madalino, Marshall, another cut-out pass to Isan Masters. The Rostock stands up defensively. They were sliding as one for Newcastle. Marshall goes through the hands. It hits the deck. Brooks, tidy little kick in behind. Ponga does get out of there, keeps his feet somehow. Away goes Kalen Ponga. This excitement machine turning it on for Tamworth.
What a sight he is, Kalen Ponga. Did well to get the football. It wasn't a bad kick from Luke Brooks. A great set, though, from the West Tigers. Benji Marshall going down the short side, and then a big shift to the right-hand side to Masters. Almost had them in some trouble.
And now the Knights are rolling. Griffin knows it. He wants to see the tempo maintained on this set. Essie put on his back. Look at this from Ponga. He is Houdini at times, getting out of his own end goal. Youngest player on the field, but arguably the biggest talent. Pearce hangs it up. Ross trying to get there. Blockers in the road, and Norfoluma came in off the wing to take it on the chest. He got them again. That's a clever run by Masters.
Silly play from Nathan Ross. They had plenty of defenders there. He knew Masters was going to come straight at him. It's been a high-quality early 11 minutes, very much up-tempo. Nathan Ross just slow to get back to marker, never gets square.
It's your obligation to get there, all right?
We've got a Falcon in the crowd, have we? They got a little excited right in front of us in the commentary box.
Let's go, mid-square.
This venue hosted City Country back in 2016. There were 8,000 plus in the house. I think we'll top that tonight. And what a beautiful kickoff time it is for this game as well. The sun setting, jam-packed hill. Oh, Benji ran behind his man there, and they asked for a penalty. Elijah Taylor it was, running in front of the halfback, or rather the 5'8". Now, Taylor back into the action. So they lost one co-captain in Lawrence, regained another in Elijah Taylor. Adelino again ball playing for Marshall. Rocco, what a tackle. Mitch Barnett, their player of the year in 2017. Scythed him down. Marshall again can't get that spiral we were seeing, but it's still got away from them. Big chance out wide. Oh, Matau's here. What a tidy-up effort from the former captain.
A great desperation from Sione Matautia. Benji Marshall, I mentioned it again. So good with the high ball. They're really trying to target Jack Cogger down the right-hand edge for the Newcastle Knights. They've shifted to their left twice.
Kenny Dowell again taking on the big man. Put Eisenhuth on his back. Pearce sensing an opportunity for the 40-20. He's hit it sweet. Norfoluma getting back there in the nick of time. Nice idea from Pearce with the breeze. The Newcastle-born David Norfoluma denying Pearce that 40-20. Wateni Zalesniak again trying to get the big don't argue going on Ponga. Madalino. A settling run from the former Warrior. His good mate Russell Packer out with injury right now. A knee problem for him. Probably a couple more weeks on the sidelines. Marshall, a trademark step, and another pass hits the deck though. They're all waiting for him to try and cut through the line like he did at Lotto Land last week. Norfoluma has been told to play it. Brooks, can he get the spiral going? You bet he can. Turning away from Kenny Dowell, who got there. That's a confidence-boosting take for SKD. Guerra. Ponga's service for Pearce. SESE with nowhere to go. Marshall was up quickly to greet him. Barnett trying to set one up for Ponga, but West Tigers so good defensively. Best defence in the comp, 67 points conceded in 6 games. Pearce didn't get the kick he was after that time. 7 tackle set coming up.
Yeah, not the kick he was looking for. You mentioned it, Speeder. They are the best defensively in the competition. Surprisingly, though, they are the second worst for missed tackles, averaging 32 a game. It just shows you the desperation and commitment they have. If they do make an error, well, then their mate bails them out. Mitchell Pearce just willing that one to stop. Just a couple of metres too big. Big play. 7 tackle set to the Tigers.
And in first halves this season, they've only conceded a grand total of 16 points. So no wonder they went for that early shot at goal to try and get on the board, the Knights, but Ponga let them down. Here's a concern for Wateni Zalesniak. Scored his first try in 7 games last week against Manly. A real grimace, and he's holding that knee. That's a worry.
Yeah. Good contact from Matautia. Cogger's in there as well, but I think you might find it's a knee clash.
Yeah, knee on knee.
Yeah.
Right on the point. So hopefully it's just a bruising type scenario and nothing more. But it's whack. Look at this.
See Cogger grimace a little bit too. A lot of talk down at ground level from Newcastle Knights players. As soon as Nofaluma or Zelezniak go into dummy half, there's screams. Watch them run, watch them run. So they obviously highlighted how important it is to nullify the back three's influence over the match of the West Tigers.
So will Teni Zelezniak be able to continue heading back out to his left wing role right now? Nissan Masters thinking about the quick tap. Referee says, not in this situation. No players know when they can take one on.
Daniel, your leg gets short. You boys, off for the foot.
Oh, Alloyer, met by Fitzgibbon. 2 number 11s, head to head. Eisenhuth trying to hit and spin through Fitzgibbon. Plenty of support there with Pearce and Esiesi getting involved as well. Madalino. Right on the 20, he'll play it. Midway through the tackle count. Benji. Rocco. Pretty flat, the West Tigers here, as they look to go back to the left now with Alloyer. He's going to play it on the last. Marshall to the right, Brooks to the left. Little goes to the halfback. Another little kick in behind. Awkward bounce for Kenny Dow, but it worked out just fine in the end for the Knights.
Well, Luke Brooks just looking for that one to curl away from the dead ball line. Just tried to hit it on the inside of his foot to make that happen, but it just kept rolling on. And now it's the Knights' opportunity for a 7-tackle set. You can see just, if you kick it on that inside, see how it torpedoes off. Therefore, it rolls awkwardly, but rolls straight. If he hit it right, it would have rolled away from the dead ball line and stayed in play.
Griffin, great idea to run out of dummy half that time. Picks up 12 metres or so. Pearce takes over and links with his former Roosters teammate as well in Guerra. Now it's Cogger's turn. Back to Pearce. Esiesi, what a smooth mover he is. Just glided past the initial tackle from Eisenhuth.
A great player.
He was in the lock roll last week with Barnett out. Now they go through Matautia, drops it on the boot. Thompson well positioned again.
And that is a problem with Newcastle's game. They're very big on all or nothing plays. The majority, if they make a line break, it's either an error or a try. In contrast, the West Tigers, they've been so patient this year. They build pressure, and then they get the opportunities off the back of it.
This is a good start to a set defensively from the Knights after that kick, though. They've made 3 tackles in a row inside the 20. West Tigers only just working their way out.
Their line speed has been a feature of the game early so far.
Madalino had a runner in support in Brooks. Ivan Cleary, 14 wins already against Newcastle, his most against any opponent. Oh, cleverly summed up by CO. It was going to bounce in the field of play, I reckon.
Oh.
You're not so sure?
I'm not sure. CO did well.
Ponga. And around he goes, Kenny Dow. It's important that Elijah Taylor got there to stop him getting back to his feet and going again. Pass behind Cogger wasn't great from Pearce, but they were up early. And it's another penalty for the away team tonight. They lead that count.
Jacob, come 10.
And they've had some success there in the opening 18 minutes. Look at the ball control. Great ball control. Both teams, 10 from 10.
Kevin.
But Sean Kenny-Dow's had a little bit of success in behind the ruck. SASE as well, in behind there. And they should persevere with that, the Newcastle Knights.
Kenny Dow looking lively early.
I'll tell you what. Kevin Wade, Elijah Wade, go.
Ponga. Saifidi has another go. They really flopped on him at the end there. Saifidi didn't appreciate it. The service for Pearce was nice, and Fitzgibbon. Griffin. Pearce, flat pass, trying to spin his way over. Only just.
Great
denied was Guerra.
Luke Brooks.
Pearce. Tautier was taken on suspicion. Here's the smooth mover, Asiesi again. No scorers yet midway through the first half. Ponga, did he get a boot to it? Almost Billy Slater style, and they'll get a repeat set. Great follow-up work by Fitzgibbon and Ross.
It's just such a threat, Kalen Ponga, isn't he, when he just that little skip out. We've seen already early in 2018, he can either play short, play long. There it is, that little skip play. Benji Marshall was interested straight away, and that man, Lachlan Fitzgibbon, great strength. Nathan Ross gets in there, but it's no coincidence that Fitzgibbon is the leading try scorer for the Newcastle Knights, and that's purely because of Kalen Ponga.
The West Tigers have also made their first interchange this evening. Alex Twal is on the field.
Out there in the number 15 jumper, on for Aloye. Driving the dropout low was Benji. And Daniel Saifidi is playing because Jacob Lillyman's back in Newcastle, Hannah.
That's right, Brenton. Jacob Lilliman is at home. He's waiting for the arrival of his second child. Now, it's not due for another week, but their firstborn actually arrived 3 weeks early, so you can understand them playing it safe this time.
Pearce went to the line, took the tackle. Now Cogger, out the back, Ponga, clever pass, must be for CO! Yes, sir! The Newcastle Knights score first, and Kalen Ponga has another try assist. Kenny CO puts it down, and they all celebrate with Ponga and company.
Well, I know it's only round 7, but here's my favourite player to watch, Kalen Ponga. He has it all, whether it be his footwork. I mentioned it earlier, he can play short, he can play long. Look at this for a great set of hands. Avoids Nathan Ross. Kenny CO, I thought he'd almost bombed it there. Thompson got across, but look at this sleight of hand. Bang, straight across. You're talking about half a second reaction time just to catch, pass, and make the right option. And that is brilliant from Kalen Ponga.
We have seen a lot of those passes to the winger, cut-out passes, intercepted in recent weeks. But Ponga assessed it and knew if he got it to CO, he was a big show in the corner.
And I like what I've seen from Newcastle. You saw the kick in behind Watene Zelezniak early, just to remind them that is an option. But then they've adjusted their depth. You see Kalen Ponga out the back of their decoy plays. Well, he's adjusted his depth. He's given himself about another metre or two behind the decoy runner, because when the teams play up and in, they take your time away. So good coaching, Nathan Brown, and great work, Kalen Ponga.
3 tries in 2 weeks for CO. And Kalen Ponga cannot add the extras. Off with the boot so far tonight, but on with his ball-playing ability. And his skills at the other end, of course, when he got out of the in-goal. Watch NRL. You can take the NRL with you. If you're travelling overseas for work or on holiday, sign up to Watch NRL, where you can access all NRL matches live or on demand from outside Australia, New Zealand and the Pacific Islands. So head to watchnrl.com for that.
Look at that crowd.
Marshall's restart. The Knights might feel like they need a lead at the break, Mark Gasney, with this breeze a bit of a factor tonight.
Yep, and plus they know how hard points are to come by against the West Tigers.
They've let a few go as well, with Ponga's back-to-back misses. Second attempt, a tough one, of course. Here's a bonus for them, another penalty to get out of their own half.
And that takes it to 5-3 in the way of the Newcastle Knights. They have looked sharp with the football, the West Tigers. And unfortunately, just given Newcastle a few too many opportunities attacking their own goal line.
And for a team that is averaging the least amount of run meters per week, 1,173, they're already nudging 500 after less than 24 minutes. Griffin. Barnett trying to go between the two markers. Pearce, Cogger. Taylor and Cogger both slipped as that tackle was being made. Essie. Big Herman trying to get the arm free. Thompson came in to wrap up the ball, and eventually they get him down. Now Griffin, Pearce, flat ball off. It's given, couldn't hold on this time. And look how upset he is, because he knows that was a chance for number 5.
He knew he would have been over. Probably a little bit too hard a pass from Mitchell Pearce, but Lachlan Fitzgibbon, the standard he has set in 2018, he's filthy at himself. He did not catch that. A great set play to the right, then they come back to the left. Look at that. Fitzgibbon on Benji Marshall. You're right, Speedy. He would have pretty much fallen over the line.
And how is the quality of football here at Scully Park? As you saw, that is the first error of the game.
Yep, and that man Nathan Brown will be happy, because it's not as if they've played conservatively, the Newcastle Knights. They've moved the football around. They've asked plenty of questions of the West Tigers.
Newcastle hunting their 350th win in the NRL, and they're playing from in front tonight. Nagama played 15 games for the Knights, 8 for Penrith. He's 77th tonight for the West Tigers, and back-to-back errors in this game. Or no, they say it's a high shot that caused that cough-up of possession.
Yep, Jacob Little. He has been good out of dummy half. Just caught the markers napping. SAS a bit slow to get back. Little takes off and then bang. Clobbers him maybe a little bit on the chin. Been really, really good SAS though this first half.
He's up to 77 metres. He's had 11 runs already. That's the most of any player in the game by some way. Kenny Dow next with 8. And Guerra as well. So concern for Jacob Little, and it is an HIA, so Peter Godinay will be called upon. You think back to last year, Matt McKilrick played all but one game.
I know.
And now his 4th run at the West Tigers.
Even Josh Reynolds is in there.
Yeah. They've found some depth, haven't they, in that part of the field, and they love what this guy brings to them.
Little has been really good. Godinay's no slouch either, but Little, just that little bit of spark out of dummy half on those occasions like that where the marker gets caught out. I wonder if Ronnie Palmer will hit him with some confetti.
Give him some energy, you reckon? That was the story behind Ronnie Palmer sprinkling that confetti last week, saying that he was asked to bring the energy, the box of energy, because they needed some at Lotto Land, and boy, did they find it.
He's good at that, Ronnie Palmer.
Big puff of the cheeks from SES, who has to muscle up defensively with his team now. Twal to play it, the 21-year-old who debuted in the NRL a day before his 21st birthday against the Knights last year. Got a win on that occasion. When Newcastle flopped in their high-vis gear at home, you may remember. Here he is again, Twal, off the flat pass from Brooks. Godinay in the headgear to Eisenhuth. Brooks getting on the same page, but Godinay goes the other way and almost breaking through. Keep on going to Twal, don't they? Now it's Benji's turn. A little stumble. The kick, chasers weren't there, but the glance off the upright proved difficult for the Knights, and they can't get out.
And Benji Marshall, great vision there. When he skipped and received the football over on the left edge, he realised Kalen Ponga was really slow. He was actually at marker that made the tackle. Went over to the right-hand side. There he comes into your screen now. Mitchell Pearce. Well read. And saved the day for the Knights. Benji, nice patience.
Part of the reason they lead the comp in forced dropouts, Benji Marshall. You see the kickers aim for the uprights. That time it came off the padding. Any deflection will do to cause a bit of indecision. Twal turns the shoulder on Griffin. A few changes coming as we're keeping you abreast of with those graphics. Suaso Su turned 26 yesterday, and here they are right through. Opportunity for Eisenhuth, but there was no one looming off his left shoulder, and Ponga makes the try saver. Twal again, how many hit-ups from him? Gordonay eventually gets it. Used Eisenhuth as a decoy. Decent kick. Oh, adventurous. Ross trying to get out. Well, they took a big chance there and got away with it. Still have to go for the dropout.
Well, again, well cleaned up, Mitchell Pearce. But what about Eisenhuth? Straight through, not a hand on him. It's no surprise they're going at the Newcastle Knights right edge. They have conceded 13 tries this year. Mitchell Pearce rolls the dice, gets the offload to Nathan Ross. But Robbie Rockow, Luke Brooks, they're all there to clean him up. They'll persevere with attacking Newcastle's right edge, though. There's been a lot of different combinations. You've had Lamb, Connor Watson, now you've got Jack Cogger out there. So there is some indecision in defence.
Look at the breeze, a factor there as the dropout travels 60 on the fly just about. Well, Marshall goes immediately to Norfoluma, asking the winger to make something happen, and he's got an offload in his game, doesn't he? Beautifully done to Isan Masters, and they're back to the 20 already.
He's got plenty in his game.
Back-to-back games for Norfoluma, and they've coughed it up. Masters was looking for a penalty. A young man who signed a new deal during the week to keep him at the club till 2020, deemed to have coughed it up here. Plenty going on.
Well, just trying to struggle and break free, Norfoluma, to get a quick play the ball.
Hyington it was around the ball. Another arm in there from Griffin, and it's right in front of the referee. You can see why Isan Masters is pleading, because there was a reefing motion there, was there not?
Well, it's hard. He tried to swivel out to get a quick play the ball as well. So in those instances, I'm always for a bit of onus being on the ball carrier to protect it.
Hyington having an early contribution against his former club. He's fourth on the West Tigers all-time appearances list with 201.
Oh,
awkward, wasn't it, for Benji Marshall, who stayed down for a little while after running into a leading arm. He gets involved in that tackle. Four of them did in the end to slow down Fitzgibbon. Ross, good run, good metres out of dummy half. Quick play the ball too for Griffin. Here's Hyington. Gets the offload out the back. Ross got there as well, and then he ran into Suaso Su. On the last. Pearce goes high. Ponga blocked off. There were three in the road of Kalen Ponga. Norfoluma, as a result, under no pressure.
Nice set, though, from the Newcastle Knights. Again, there's success in behind the ruck of the West Tigers. See you later, Mitchell Pearce.
Isan Masters got the big fend going. Norfoluma coming more and more into the game late in this first half. 31 minutes gone. No scorers yet for the West Tigers, and indeed it is an HIA for Benji Marshall. We mentioned it when he ran into the arm that was raised by the attacking player. Spat out the back, stayed down for a couple of seconds, and that's why the HIA is required for the in-form Marshall.
He wore the full force of Jacob Saifidi.
Ponga, he was worried about the upright. He knew it had to be looming. Went to the deck and made sure of the catch. So how will the West Tigers manage their game without their game manager in Benji?
Well, Luke Brooks has been so dominant, you would expect him to step up to the plate.
Penny Dow. Griffin. Good effort by Rocco. They do call held, even though he appeared to be slipping through that tackle. Tautier on the last, on halfway. Pearce goes high. Malachi Watene-Zelezniak had time to bail himself out.
Well, he just regathered it, didn't he? But a great kick from Mitchell Pearce. Elijah Taylor's actually gone to the 5'8" position. So it would be all Luke Brooks, you would think, in steering this team around the park and doing all the kicking.
Michael Cheekham out there now in the number 16 jumper. Brooks back inside. Fullback was looming up. Brooks, the kicker. Ponga has to wait. He rises, protects himself with the boot, and Twal with the second effort gives away the penalty.
Tackle's completed, mate. On the ground.
And that's just silly. God, no. No need for the second effort there. Benji Marshall, he copped the full force. Look at that, Jacob Saifidi. Bang, tries to go high on him. It's an absolute mismatch in regards to size. Tried to get off his line and do the best he could. But it obviously stung him, that one.
It was a big don't argue, wasn't it? A real shove of Benji Marshall.
All 2 metres of his arm.
Hyington. The only 2 players from the 05 grand final winning team of the West Tigers still running around in the NRL, both in today's game, Benji and that man Hyington. The veterans. Pearce delayed the pass and then found Saifidi. Jacob, that is, off the bench. Hyington with a short ball. Played by Yates, the number 20 jumper. Pearce. Mitchell Pearce opens them right up. Right in the conversation for a return to the New South Wales Blues. And that'll be catching the eye of Brad Fittler.
Will it what? They have been vulnerable through the middle of their ruck, the West Tigers, which is out of character. They've only conceded 2 tries through there this year, but it was just the change of direction. Some lazy defenders. Young Cogger just skips across the field. He wants to go nice and direct, but then all of a sudden, Mitchell Pearce just drops back under. The threat of Kalen Ponga. Eisenhuth come out of the line, just opened up the gap. Thompson couldn't get there, but there he is. He wanted to play direct, but Mitchell Pearce just reads the play, drops back under, and shows great turn of foot to get through the hole. And again, it's off the back of their defence, Newcastle. They have had their moments this year where they fall vulnerable off the back of big chunks of possession and they concede points, whereas tonight they've been quite resilient on their goal line. Defended kicks well, but been really good and controlled with the football. And every win this season for the Newcastle Knights has come when they've completed over 80%. The Manly, the Raiders, the Broncos, all those victories up over 80%.
It's his 17th game against the West Tigers tonight, Mitchell Pearce. He scored 14 tries against them now. That's his most against any club. Next best is 6. Ponga has no problem this time. And the Newcastle Knights have put more points in the first half on the West Tigers than any other team this season. They've racked up 10. They'd only conceded 16 until now total.
And Brenton, I just wanted to add, during the week, Benji Marshall spoke of Mitchell Pearce's running game and how wary he was of that coming into tonight's game. And with him off the field, rightly so, that play was superb from Mitchell Pearce.
Great point, Hannah. He sensed the opportunity and could see them floundering without Benji perhaps communicating where the drama might be opening up.
It definitely changes the decision-making on your edges when you defend together as a group. This is dangerous.
They let the kickoff bounce, but the bounce went towards Ross. Could have gone anywhere.
Let's go. Square, hold here, Elijah.
Saifidi. Can they keep the West Tigers to 0 at the break? Can they find some more points as well before they head to the sheds? It was an awkward-looking play the ball from Kenny Dow.
He's been sensational though, Kenny Dow. That was his 11th run. Provided plenty of quick play the balls.
Pearce using Fitzgibbon again, running at Godinay. holding him down a long time. On the last, they get away with it. Pearce looking for a touch finder, and he'll find it inside the 10.
And that's a tremendous kick under pressure. They mucked around in the play the ball. The ball was slow to get to Mitchell Pearce, had to step back off his right foot. But a great kick under that sort of pressure. Been really dominant. The opening 37 minutes has Mitchell Pearce. The forwards have done a really good job, though. They've been up for this contest. Their line speed's been great, taken away opportunities for that man, Luke Brooks. And Kalyn Ponga, well, I just love watching him play.
It's been 15 years since Newcastle have kept West Tigers to 0 at half-time.
Wow. Don't jinx them, Speedy.
I'll cop it if they score here from Newcastle fans, no doubt. They've got a long way to go, though, and even more. 90 metres to go after that tackle. Great intensity late in the half from Newcastle. Eisenhuth, he opened them up, and it looked like points were coming, but Ponga made the one-on-one tackle. And the West Tigers couldn't get it done earlier in the half. Now Godinay. Brooks almost through. They just held on desperately. Matautia and Hyington. Was he square at marker? Yes is the call. Helped out by Cogger.
How long, boys?
Crossfield kick from Brooks. Up he goes. CO coughs it up. It'll be a West Tigers ball. And they'll have about 70 or 80 seconds to score.
Speedy, the Newcastle fans have got their words ready. It was great work, Luke Brooks. There's the knock on from Kenny Seo, but Luke Brooks sensed that Chris Hyington was stuck at first defender off the ruck, and he knew it was a mismatch in regards to pace and went straight through. That's what provided the quick play the ball. And the big defensive set here for the Newcastle Knights.
Injury update from the West Tigers bench. Jacob Little has passed his HIA. He's standing by on the sideline, ready to get back out there.
That's great news for the West Tigers. Brooks feeds the scrum. Norfoluma, twinkle toes. Running at Yates. 90 seconds, a full set and then some to try and open their account. Elijah Taylor has a go out of dummy half.
Kalyn Ponga, great defence.
He is there so often. Twal with nowhere to go from a standing start. How do they function without Benji? Brooks trying to make it happen. Can't put the footwork on. It's a great tackle made by the bigger man, Saifidi. Now on the last, Godinay. And they slap it dead. They can chew up some seconds now. Clever by Pearce.
Really clever, and again, great instinct from Mitchell Pearce. One step ahead of his opposition. That's his third kick that he's cleaned up tonight. Kalyn Ponga caught in the line again. Came up with a try saver earlier. You can see Mitchell Pearce. Kalyn Ponga goes across. He realises Hyington has to come and get off his line. Kenny Seo has to stay up. Looked a little bit lost that set, the West Tigers. No surprise without Benji Marshall. And Luke Brooks, he needs more touches this set.
So what a performance from Newcastle. After conceding 40 last week in Melbourne. Big dropout again, 60 on the fly. Seconds ticking away. Will they put a kick up? Nagama keeps it in the hands for now, and he's chopped down. Great tackle made by Yates. He gets the high fives, and they do keep a clean sheet at half-time against the West Tigers for the first time since 2003. The Knights 10, the West Tigers 0 at the break. And the West Tigers back out there as well, and great news for everyone concerned. Benji Marshall is back out there. He's been given the all clear after his HIA concern in the first half. Benji's back.
And I think he might be a bit more wary of Jacob Saifidi coming down that left edge. But I think it showed how much they need Benji Marshall. That last 2 minutes they had attacking the Newcastle try line. They did look a little bit out of sorts, the West Tigers.
Made his debut in the same fixture, the West Tigers against the Knights, way back in 2003. Ponga gets the second half underway. It's hanging in the breeze a long time for Brooks. Oh, Twal, what about the contact? He didn't get through them one little bit. Absolutely smashed by Saifidi, Yates and company. Now Taylor, runners in motion, including Benji. And Marshall taking on Mitchell Pearce. Pearce profited when Marshall was off, of course, late in that first half. Got a name. Elijah Taylor. Good meters on their first set here, despite the abrupt halt on the first hit up for Twal. Now Brooks going high. Kenny Dow back into his own in goal, just. And play on is the cry. Kenny Dow thought he was getting a 20-metre tap. It was one of those in-betweeners, and the referee thought he took off from in the field of play before gathering in his own in goal.
Well, I thought they were getting a 7-tackle set to the Newcastle Knights. I have to admit, though, that is one the referees rarely get wrong.
Let's have a look at it. Both feet, they're both... Oh! Second foot not quite grounded in time. Have they gotten that one wrong?
That's a 7-tackle set.
Yeah. Pearce. Off the back of it, finds Thompson on the chest, so you can already see it's an advantage to be going right to left tonight as we look at it. Is 10 points enough of a break against the in-form West Tigers for Newcastle? Look at the go forward already from tonight's home team. Taking this one on the road to Tamworth. About 3 hours or so from Newcastle. Tackle count restarts. Oh, no look pass from Brooks. Cheekham! Here comes their first points in Tamworth. The West Tigers on the board, and the sleight of hand from Brooks again, and Cheekham's the beneficiary.
Well, it was a beautiful pass from Brooks, but already you see the impact of Benji Marshall. Ran the football over on the right edge from the back of the field, took the meters, got the quick play the ball.
So I don't know if he tried it wrong. Yeah.
Then he had the short change of passing with Luke Brooks, where Sione Matautia had to knock it down. Then he's out the back of this play, but Cheekham, what a line he runs. Luke Brooks goes all the way to the line. Again, it's Jack Cogger. Isolating him, great footwork late. Michael Cheekham, and what a start from the West Tigers. Just the indecision of Jack Cogger, worried about Benji Marshall out the back. You could see just hesitant. Wanted to go off his left foot and slide out the back, and Cheekham. What a great line that was.
And when you break the line, not many get past Kalen Ponga, but he put a beautiful left foot step on him, didn't he? Second try of the season, just the third of his career, and boy, did he lap it up. Being able to run under the posts untouched.
And you heard Mitchell Pearce, he was arguing about the 7-tackle set, and basically saying that's a big call. Unfortunately, not everything does go your way.
He's having a good season in so many respects, Esan Masters. 85% with the boot. No problem at all. Suddenly it's a 4-point ball game, Hannah Hollis.
Renton with attack like that, there was no need for Ivan Cleary to mention anything about it to his team at halftime. It was all about defence. Pick up the defence and keep it tight. As for Nathan Brown, he just said stick to the game plan, and also defensively, keep showing up.
So a little game-changing moment right here. Kenny Dow back into his own in goal to take it on the chest. He's looking around thinking, oh, beauty.
Yeah.
7-tackle set.
He stopped.
And the referee's waving his arm saying, keep going, keep going.
He would have almost been better to get tackled in goal so they could have a look.
Yeah, yeah. Even the West Tigers were backing off. They weren't looking to make a tackle on Kenny Dow at all. So eventually, off the back of all that, the West Tigers scored a try, of course, because they had wonderful field position off the eventual kick from Pearce. Offload. 10 metres out from his own line from Cheekham there. This guy's got an offload in him. Norfoluma back to Godinay. No offload. Yates prevented that one from Taylor. Twal. This game set up beautifully now, isn't it? Rocco. Robbie Rocco putting a bit of footwork on, but Fitzgibbon held on. Now Marshall, can he get the spiral going this time? Kenny Dow's in trouble, big trouble, SKD. Here comes the Garber in game number 100. And the West Tigers go back to back. They're going to be in front in a moment.
Yep. Okay.
Chasers in front of the kick can be the only problem.
We're back to tackle 1. We have a try. Confirm the onside, please.
And Benji Marshall again. The aerial attack of Benji Marshall. We mentioned it. We watched him in the warm-up, you and I, Speedy. He couldn't have hit them any better. Goes down the short side.
West Tigers left side kick chaser onside.
And they follow through with it. Sean Kenny-Dow, who's been quite safe tonight under the high ball, just drifts away from him, moves late. When Benji hits it on the outside of the foot, it'll just go away to the left of your screen. He has an air swing.
Ball's knocked back from Newcastle. Tackle count restarts.
And Nguama gets there first. Kalen Ponga tries desperately to save it, but I don't think he has any problem with the grounding. And what a start from the West Tigers. Ivan Cleary would be ecstatic.
Possession is regained by West Tigers.
Yeah.
And in his 100th game in the NRL, he has
grounded by
try
Kevin Nagama. We have a decision.
number 47 in his career. It all started in round 26 of 2010 as a Newcastle Knights. Now as a West Tiger, he's given his new club the lead effectively once the 2 points are added.
Yep, and Arncliffe Scotts Jr. played with his brother Wes. Always was a talent, was Kevin. So good on his feet, strong. Really found his confidence, though, and his rhythm, particularly after his World Cup campaign. By all reports, even taken on a leadership role, and that's just good honesty there, chasing the kick, realising that Sean Kenny-Dow never looked comfortable, and just pure effort got him to the football first.
When we saw that strapping on his thigh ahead of the game, we thought he might struggle to move, but he had no problem there, Nagama. Once he saw Benji hit it sweet, he thought, I'm in here. A big chance, and Masters does add the extras. It's 12-10 to the West Tigers. This game has turned inside 6 minutes.
Brendan, a humble and honest Kevin Nguama this week said that he never thought he'd actually play 100 games. He says, I still pinch myself when I come to training. I'm very grateful to call this my job. Now, he used to play for the Newcastle Knights, and did you know not one player or coaching staff is there from his time? The only thing that remains the same is the colours, and even tonight, that's different.
Yeah, such an inspirational leader of Fiji. Kevin Nagama. So the West Tigers have gone back to back. So crucial to get Benji Marshall back out there. They're almost in trouble there, weren't they? Just staying in the field of play was Brooks. Marshall moves it on. Twal. How many hit-ups for him? 8 now since he's come off the bench. Oh, Elijah Taylor just got rocked by Luke Yates. He may not get up after that, but he's gone high, according to the late call. Taylor's in a bit of bother.
Well, the contact was huge. Oh, Yates. Oh, no, he got him in the shoulder.
Yeah, the head just rocks back.
It's the whiplash from the force.
Yeah.
Yates.
It's actually drawn blood on Luke Yates, perhaps. The contact on Taylor, and you wouldn't think he's going to be able to go on. But he loved pulling off a hit like that, and the teammates were lifted by it too, but unfortunately it's a penalty, and it's another little 50-50 that's gone against the Knights.
Well, look, no one likes to see this, a player leaving the field, but when you coach your players, the contact you want, that's exactly what you want. He got in great position with his feet, just crouched his body as Elijah Taylor got there, and just full force, everything Yates had, he threw into that tackle. Oh! And again, I reinforce, no one wants to see players get injured, but that is just great contact.
And then maybe the head clash as well, given that we've seen the blood coming on Luke Yates. As you say, the body is a perfect textbook tackle, and then the clash of heads has caused the confusion for the officials.
And the whiplash.
Yeah.
And which is why we outlawed the shoulder charge, because of the whiplash. But, you know, seeing both sides of the arguments, unfortunately, that's just a great tackle. But they're going to get a penalty.
Eisenhuth on for Elijah Taylor, who may not be back. Oh, another big shot with Yates in the vicinity. Saifidi as well, as they lined up Suaso Su. Marshall, Cheekam trying to run a line again, pops it out the back to Godinay. Marshall wants it back to the left. Brooks into dummy half. Goes to Benji. Little chip over the top there, and again! Thompson this time! What about the way Benji summed all that up? And they've got 3 unanswered in the second half, the West Tigers. They are running hot.
And he saw it at play earlier, Benji Marshall. As soon as the play the ball happened, he sent straight away. Kalen Ponga was in the line. He got straight into line to make the extra numbers. There he is, second in the headgear from your screen. Right next to Aiden Guerra. Benji Marshall knew that straight away. Great reaction from his teammates. Look, there he is, just inside Yates. Beautiful little chip over the top. Thompson was ready for it. And great execution from the West Tigers. Smart play, Benji Marshall.
And if Thompson hadn't have gotten to it, then Nagama would have had a bigger go at it. He was a chance as well. So good was the kick to space from Benji.
And he'd obviously teed it up. Straight away, he would have said, Kalen Ponga's in the line, get ready for a kick.
Now they're starting to click like we saw last week at Lottoland. And they put on all those points against Manly.
And Benji Marshall is just playing like he's got so much time. It's like he's one step ahead of each play. Comfortable with what he's going to do.
And they entered tonight 5-1. 11 of the 38 teams to start a season 5-1 in the NRL era have gone on to reach the grand final. 7 of those teams have won the comp. No wonder West Tigers fans are excited. 10-0 down at half-time. They're 18-10 in front. Nathan Brown is a worried man. But think back 9 months ago when they met at McDonald Jones Stadium. It was dubbed the Spoon Bowl.
Yep.
And now Newcastle were playing to get into the top 8. The West Tigers were playing for the best record, equal best record in the NRL.
And that's what the locals, when I arrived, they said, geez, we bought our tickets before a ball was kicked and we thought we got dudded. And now they're ecstatic.
It's turned into one of the marquee matchups this weekend in the NRL. Oh, Sue bringing it back. And Yates just keeps on lighting them up, and now they've got to sloppy play the ball. Is that the team lifter provided by Yates this time with no penalty?
Again, what a hit. Yates' contact. We saw Saifidi do it on 12 from the moment.
Well, Yates has just kicked that out, hasn't he? Hasn't his Yates' left boot gone through the ball when Sue's trying to play?
One more, Tigers.
No wonder he's incredulous. Just watch Yates' left boot here. Straight through, stabbing it away.
You get away with what you can, Speedy.
Maybe they were owed one, the Knights, after what's gone down. Just the second error against the West Tigers in this game, and you just saw how much possession Newcastle have had Very few opportunities since the break. Here's Yates. Took Danny Levi's spot on the bench. Well, Pearce didn't throw it. Saifidi may have been over if he did. Bureau's out there in game number 150. 8 points the margin. Give 2 points if they want it. They're not thinking about it.
I think you'll find they'll set up with the same play here. Saifidi was through. I think Mitchell Pearce is going to fancy his chances with the same play.
Bureau is the dummy half now. Pearce stepping, pops it out the back to Bureau. And look out to that left side with Ponga. Yates, Saifidi off a really flat pass, and he was flat-footed. Chewed up some tackles now. Ponga delayed the pass and threw it into touch. They overran him, Matautia and SKD. Although Ponga, he thinks he's the one who's made the mistake.
Well, I thought there was a touch. No. He's just thrown that behind. Wanted to hit Sean Kenny Dow. And that's where they've got to be patient. They've had all the possession, the West Tigers, the opening first half. They've had 5 offloads too in this second half. It's really made the Newcastle forwards work a lot harder and use a lot more energy. So they're going to have to get back into controlling the ruck and dominating the football, the Newcastle Knights.
Martini Zalesniak and off the wing for the opening hit-up. Rocco's turn. Taken one-on-one by Fitzgibbon. Can Newcastle find a spark? Stop all the momentum which the West Tigers have right now. Brooks, an early kick for the 40-20. Ponga getting across. He just gives us a little juggling act to bring it under his control. Grateful to have the ball back in his hands after his error. Gave possession away. Guerra looked up and saw Saifidi in the road, gave himself up pretty much, as you have to do in that kind of situation. Now Saifidi ready to roll. Not too many metres though. It's a hard grind right now into that breeze. Bureau gets it to Pearce. Out towards Malachi Watene-Zelezniak. Matautia timed his run to get the tackle effected immediately. Nice little move out of dummy half by Thompson. Benji taking on the line, running into some big boys. Bureau and Yates. And Godinay off the back of that. Brooks will go high this time. Ponga well positioned. Too deep from Brooks. He could afford to let it sail. 7 tackle set this time, there is no doubt. And he appreciated the gag from the front row, didn't Ponga?
He did, didn't he? You can see what chunks of possession do to the opposition forward packs. The Newcastle Knights had none. All of a sudden, their ruck looks a bit vulnerable. In the first half, it was the West Tigers ruck that looked a bit vulnerable.
Kenny Dow. 25 to go. Still plenty of time to turn it around. Well, Hynington felt that one as Suaso Sue got down low and drove in under the rib cage. Bureau out of dummy half. Using Guerra as a decoy. Now Cogger. Pearce putting some footwork on again. Mitchell Pearce. Guerra. Hospital pass. And Rocco sensed the opportunity to chop Bureau in half.
Robbie Rocco. Well, he read it and timed it to perfection. Aiden Guerra tried to keep the football alive off the back of a Mitchell Pearce offload. And Bura, he's a little bit worse for wear, and deservedly so. That was solid.
Guerra just looked for a teammate in board.
Oh, that's an open invitation into the rib cage. Hands up in the air, bang. And Robbie Rocco, he is obliging.
How was your 150th, Jamie? Well, I lost about 3 ribs when Rocco...
Oh.
Okay, Luke, let's put it in front. Hold. Out. Blind side.
Got it, mate, got it.
You can feel that one in your lounge room. And the error count mounting against the Knights after both teams were so tidy in that first 40. Bura straight back into the action defensively. Brooks with a scoop. G-Cam, one of the try scorers in this second half. Reversal in fortunes. Nissan Masters offload to no one in particular. Thompson, will they deem that a knock-on? Yes, they will.
And the West Tigers, the offload has worked for them so far in this second half. But Easton Masters just pushing the envelope a little bit there. They defended it quite well. Benji Marshall, they just allowed him to skip across field. No one came out of the line. Tried to pop the football up for Godinay, but it just went nowhere. And now Newcastle, finally in this second half, get an opportunity for some semi-decent field position. Ivan Cleary, he'd be ecstatic with the second half.
Quick injury update from the West Tigers bench. Elijah Taylor has failed his HIA. He will not return tonight.
Yeah, it didn't look good when he ran into Luke Yates. Ross. Kenny Seo outside him. Fitzgibbon. Still plenty of time for Newcastle. Pearce, Cogger, Guerra. Again, this trademark West Tigers defence in 2018. Looking rock solid right now. Cut out pass, great idea. Kenny Seo for a double. Untouched in the corner. Brilliant vision.
Tackle 4.
From Lachlan Fitzgibbon. What a try assist that is.
Tackle 4. We just want to check the grounding, please.
Well, they started it over on the right edge. It was a great set play. They play these little tight decoy plays. The grounding won't be a problem.
Kensei remains in the field of play and grounds the ball in the end goal. We have a decision.
Kenny Seo doesn't muck that one up. But the first opportunity the Newcastle Knights get, they make the most of it.
Time on.
I love seeing them tight decoy plays. By that I mean when the person comes out the back of the decoy runner, he only just appears on his outside shoulder really late. And what it does, it forces the defence to make a decision. It drags the centres and wingers out of the line and makes them shut the play down. That's where it broke down. They go back to the left edge. Mitchell Pearce, they play up and in. He gets the football on. And Fitzgibbon, well, if he's not scoring them, he's setting them up. Not quite Suliasi Vunivalu-like, but geez, a great pass nevertheless. Under pressure, and Kenny Seo bags a double.
Back-to-back doubles.
Back-to-back.
Even though they were towed up last week in Melbourne, he crossed twice down there. And now he's got another double. You can see why they went upstairs, the way the ball bounced afterwards, but no problem at all with the put down. And wonderful spiral pass from Lachlan Fitzgibbon. It travelled a good 20 metres or so.
It did.
And he really worked hard. He said, this could go forward. I better wrap around it.
He almost had to re-grip it. I was a bit worried when I saw the double shuffle, but it worked nevertheless.
Ponga strikes this one better, but it's dragging across the face on the breeze. And it remains a 4-point margin. They're loving the action, aren't they, in Tamworth? The fans who've packed in here tonight. And don't forget, Super Saturday continues. Still got another game coming your way. An all-Queensland battle between the Cowboys and the Titans from 1300 Smile Stadium. All eyes on Jonathan Thurston as the Cowboys look to kickstart their season. Stay with us for that one on Fox League, Channel 502. Game on again. That's travelling a long, long way. Winding up to bring it back. Here's Barnett.
Well, Nathan Ross, he's waved the arm there. I thought he's almost stitched his teammate up.
Let it go dead? Or?
Yeah, and then he's thrown his arm up, I thought, as if it went dead.
Yeah, it was well and truly in the field of play. It would have been interesting if they just let it sail.
Oh.
It would have been really close. Big risk to take, of course. An hour has gone at Scully Park. Fascinating last quarter of the game to go. Footwork from Barnett. Off the back of points. They just want a rock-solid set. They'll be forced to kick from about 35 metres out from their own line. Pearce, one of the best long kickers in the game. Can't find the deck this time. Wateni Zelezniak brings it back. He's got that knee strapped after a knee-on-knee collision earlier in this game, Malachi.
And you can see all the West Tigers forwards only just starting to get back on side. They are so heavily reliant on the dummy half running of Nofaluma, Corey Thompson, Eason Masters to start their sets.
Gondonay gets them rolling here. Rocco gets it to Masters. Always an offload threat. Fitzgibbon aware of that. And his right arm wrapped right around it. Benji Eisenhuth, who strolled through the Knights line in the first 40. Brooks, kick back inside. Ponga read it well this time and nearly opened them up. Oh! Went back awkwardly. And Brooks hung out a leg there, didn't he? But obviously got hands on Ponga first.
Well, lucky Nathan Brown is already balled, because I tell you what, he would have been after that. I thought Kalen Ponga did his knee there for a second.
And plenty would have done their knee when he got out of the in goal in the first half, the way he dropped down. Let's have... Oh. Here we go, Brooks had the legs out but made the tackle as well in company with Benji. The two halves keeping an eye on Ponga, and it got awkward for him. Thankfully, he's able to play on, and he looks all right in back play. Norfoluma taking the line on. All finished off over the top by Barnett, and you heard the grunts and groans coming through your effects microphones here. This game has been played at a wonderful intensity. Want to see more footy in Tamworth, Mark Gasnier? This has been a great experiment tonight.
Without a doubt.
They're working to something here. Madalino back out there. Arm free, pops it out the back. Thompson looming. Great tackle made by his opposite number. Ponga came to pick him off. There's a penalty right in front though. And they're asking for 10. They won't get it, but they can open the margin up to one converted try if they so choose.
Yeah, and it was on the 5th play. Lachlan Fitzgibbon annoyed with himself. Great offload. Madalino goes into the line. Barnett tries to come up with some line speed. Great offload there. Good footwork from Thompson. And what a tackle under pressure. Kalen Ponga. As he steps off the left foot, Thompson, Kalen Ponga meets him straight through the rib cage, and just that extra effort.
They are going to take the 2 and make it a 6-point margin. Eason Masters will have no problem as we check in with Hannah again.
It's a great crowd here at Tamworth. Forget the Country Music Festival. It's all about rugby league tonight. I've got an official crowd number for you. 10,082 people here. Now, 2 years ago in 2018, when we had the City Country held together, they got about 8,000 fans. And after that game, organisers actually used drone footage to identify empty spots of the stadium where they could try and squeeze more people. And by tonight's guess, I'm going to say the fans are very grateful.
And Hannah, does that figure include those watching on top of roofs across the road?
Yeah, I don't think it does. I can see some people over behind the hill there. What a great spot.
What a great spot.
They've been there for hours.
How are they going to get down? That's my question.
And there was almost a bit of a country music feel as well. The pavilion, which the West Tigers have set up as well, had a one-man band playing some nice tunes early on.
I saw you starting to shuffle the feet there, Speedy.
Corey Parker's envious. He loves that kind of music. Taking a long time here for a straightforward kick. Maybe the tee went missing. There was time off blown for an HIA, and Luke Yates has left the ground. So doubtful we'll see him again tonight with 16 minutes to go. Masters does add another gift 2 points. It's 20-14 with 15 to go.
And this is why Nathan Brown recruited a lot of experience. Put themselves into opportunities a lot of times. In 2017 did the Newcastle Knights. There's Yates, gone in for the head injury assessment. But this is where he wants the senior players to stand up. 15 minutes to go, 7 points needed.
Stay behind.
HIA, mate.
Newcastle, with their 14 points tonight, have cracked the 15,000 in their NRL history. Needed 13 to get there tonight. Just squeaked past that little milestone. They muscle up here, make the first tackle, just 6 or 7 metres out. Oh, Aloye. Again, the contact is just brilliant at this stage of the game. Godinay uses Cheekham. Again, they don't allow any metres after contact there. Matautia and Cogger. SESE was in there too. Benji just flicks it back inside. They're looking a little tired. Not a lot doing on this set. And Godinay says, where to next? He goes to Brooks for the kick. Pulls it back across his body. He's going to find the deck. Bounce favoured Ponga. He likes to get the wingers involved when he can. "12 wins apiece between these clubs down the years. Last 10 have been evenly split as well. Could we potentially go to golden point tonight? Saifidi tried to brush them away. It's a textbook tackle made down low. Well done, Godinay. Not many can contain Ponga in a one-on-one situation.
Did well there, didn't he?
SESE felt vulnerable as Eisenhuth lifted the leg. The chasers are steaming through. Matautia. Kenny Dow had a crack too. Credit Martini Zalesniak for making a safe take in the end. If the West Tigers get into position, will they be thinking about the one at this stage of the game? Benji Marshall kicked a handy one in recent weeks. One-pointer coming against the Melbourne Storm across the ditch, of course, as they did the double over Craig Bellamy's men. Godinay goes to Brooks. They're chasing another try instead right now. And Matautia comes to claim, and nothing finished to the set, really.
No, it didn't have much purpose about it, did it? The finish to the set from Luke Brooks. And Mitchell Pearce, I'd love to start to see him play back through the ruck a little bit more here. We're going wide early.
Ponga steps around Rocco, but there was support inside from Eisenhuth. Importantly, you can't clock off on the inside when Ponga has it, nor the Rostock.
That's better.
Great quick play the ball. Saifidi almost through. Had the arm free as well. Eisenhuth held on. It is the last. Pearce goes high. Through comes Fitzgibbon. It comes off the back of Cheekham. How lucky is that as it broke for Nagama. Offside, they're saying. I thought it went backwards off Cheekham. Oh, they're not even adjudicating on that. It's about the blocking situation.
Well, they've been pretty good tonight, haven't they, the West Tigers, in regards to blocking Sione Matautia or Ken Seo, Sean Kenny Dowd to get to the football. Mitchell Pearce takes up the space because it was such a quick play the ball. Great set, getting in behind the ruck. And look at Luke Brooks, just gets in there, as does Cheekham. But, I mean, we've seen worse earlier on.
Yeah, but he just tackled Mitchell Pearce without the ball, didn't he? That's what they saw. Now a chance. Right through he goes, trying to get there. Fitzgibbon with a show of strength. And what about the desperation? Benji Marshall trying to hold him up.
Horse.
Fitzgibbon is getting back to play the ball.
Checking.
10
We have a
out.
no try on tackle 2. Just confirm the ball doesn't get down, please.
Well, it was the exact same play we saw in the first half, and Lachlan Fitzgibbon spilt his lollies, but what a line he runs back in. Benji Marshall holds on for dear life. Thompson gets in there to help him out. Great show of strength from Fitzgibbon. He tries to force the football down, then tries to flip out. Benji Marshall follows him over. Does so well to hold on. And Thompson underneath for a bit of insurance, but Benji Marshall. Everyone talks, yes, about his game management, his pass selection, the skill he possesses, but it's his defence that is what has impressed me most in 2018.
And his flexibility. Doing some Pilates and yoga in his spare time is he after that effort. Well, the body language of Fitzgibbon gives it away.
Lachlan Fitzgibbon maintains possession. The ball never gets to the ground, and based on the live decision of no try, we have a decision.
He's been back at the 10-metre line ready to play it. He knew he never got it down.
And Newcastle have got the exact same structure set up on the right-hand side now.
Away we go again. Clock stopped, 10:47 to go. They used it all as a decoy. Essie having a go, one out. Ura, Ponga, on to Pearce. Saifidi going back cross field. Those Tigers were able to squeeze in. Now, they have a go down the shorter side. Ponga over the top. Seo having a hat-trick, he'll get it! Kenny Seo. He's having a field day out there on the left wing.
Horse. Coming up to tackle 5. We have a try. Just confirm there's no obstruction on the inside.
They're going to have a kick to come to level things up, are they?
Well, Kalen Ponga overcalled it down the short side. I thought it had broken down. The timing of Nathan Ross, I thought had blown it. Mitchell Pearce, though.
The ball is caught by Mitch Pearce on the outside of the lead runner.
So that's
a defensive decision by West Tigers to go to that lead runner.
And great hands from Mitchell Pearce to get it out to Kenny Seo. Straight back off the left foot. And bang, there it is.
His
and the ball is grounded by Ken Seo. We have a decision.
Hat-trick.
Well, he can thank his teammates, that's for sure. Again, Kalen Ponga combining with Mitchell Pearce in crucial moments of the match. We saw it against the Canberra Raiders. We saw it against the Manly Seagulls. We saw it against the Brisbane Broncos. And now we're seeing it against the West Tigers. To the line, out the back. Mitchell Pearce, great hands. Kenny Seo back off the left foot. And, well, what a kick coming up for Kalen Ponga.
Yeah, because he's 1 from 4 tonight. Newcastle are now in front in terms of tries scored, 4-3. That guy, Ken Seo, he's now got 7 in 6 games against the West Tigers. And his first career hat-trick. So can Ponga level things up inside the final 10? He knows the importance of it. And again, didn't read the breeze. He's 1 from 5 tonight. And they still trail.
Good split of fans here too.
Right into it, huh?
Yeah.
Even if the neutrals turned up, supporting all the other NRL clubs, they're right into it too. Comes the chant for the nominal home team tonight, the West Tigers. Benji drives it low this time, worried about and wary about potentially putting a dead on the fly. Really slow play, the ball. Saifidi. About the way the sweat just flew off his melon there as he was hit late by Aloye. Barnett trying to put a bit of footwork on. Aloye was in there down low that time. Makes 3 consecutive tackles. Does Josh Aloye. Another high kick. Kenny Dow's underneath it. And then he pops it out the back and went forward, though. Knock-on's been spotted.
Well, he was trying to pass it, Sean Kenny Dow. He saw Mitchell Pearce flying through. But again, the Newcastle Knights' success in behind the ruck of the West Tigers. You saw earlier the little statistic, 30 missed tackles from the West Tigers. Just tries to lay it back to Cogger. He wasn't ready for it.
No meters gained, really, on those 2 tackles for the West Tigers. They need a bit of inspiration, even though they're clinging to that 2-point lead right now. Rocco provided some earlier. Marshall. Madalino. It's their best go forward on this set. Eventually, chopped down low by Guerra. Aloye. That's a decent run. On the last, Marshall senses an opportunity, caught with it, and then he broke the tackle. He shrugged it off. Now the kick comes from Marshall, and Ponga's waiting for it. Beats 1 tackle, and the halves are there again. They've almost taken it upon themselves to ensure that Ponga can't really break free as much as he'd like to, the 2 halves. They've cleaned him up a couple of times.
Well, he's always going to have an impact on a match, is Kalen Ponga. You're exactly right, Speedy. Your job as an opposition is just to limit that, to have as little amount as possible.
Out came Cheekan, didn't really affect the hit he was after on Barnett, who spins his way over halfway. It is the last. Cogger's going to go high this time. Plenty of time for the chasers. Matautia almost overrunning it. Can he get it out the back? It's there to claim. But it's another knock-on deemed. It'll be a handover. They keep getting their hands to it, don't they? First up from the kicks, but can't do much off the back of that.
It's a dangerous mindset. Look at the errors for the Newcastle Knights in top left of your screen. It's a dangerous mindset for the West Tigers to allow them the opportunity to come up with some sort of miracle play. You're inviting them into that opportunity.
Rocco. How do the West Tigers play this? They feel like they need another try just to kill off the Knights. Eisenhuth, Benji, bit of room to move with Isan Masters. Oh. Rostock brushed aside. He's told to go back and play it, is Isan. Ross with a puff of the cheeks saying, geez, you're a hard guy to handle. They have another look down that short side. Ponga can let this travel. 7 tackles set. That's very handy right now.
That's a big, big play. Benji Marshall got cornered on the last occasion with the kick and spooked into running the football. Eventually came up with a kick, but just struck it too hard. They risked the short side play, tried to catch the Newcastle Knights. Ross in particular napping, but too much on that one from Benji Marshall, and 7 tackles now for the Knights.
Essie. Oh, he runs right over the top of Rocco, and then the ball came out. It was a one-on-one situation by then, and it's another error against the Knights. When they had that 7 tackle set, they didn't even get halfway through it.
Well, I have to admit, I thought they knocked the football out here. There it is. He's obviously facing at his own in goal. Smart play from the West Tigers. SESE, he appeals for it. Yes, it was knocked out, but you would have to say it went backwards towards the West Tigers goal line. Nathan Brown, can't believe his luck. Just got a 7-tackle set, and they come up with an error.
A sensational atmosphere, 10,000 plus in Tamworth.
Oh, no.
Mitchell Pearce forced off.
HIA for Mitchell Pearce.
So he is done for the night. Won't feature again. And Yates is back. I thought there was 15 minutes required. Well, there was a big stoppage, perhaps. 15 minutes of real time as opposed to game time.
Exactly.
Yates involved in that tackle. With Barnett and Griffin, they've got some gingers, don't they, the Knights? Twal. Godinay goes down the shorter side for Madalino. Inside the final 4 minutes. The clock's on their side. Marshall. Twal. Shows it, does Godinay. Tried to catch the markers napping. Won't want to put this one dead, Benji. Nor Brooks, he's holding on for now. Succumbs in the tackle, asks Newcastle to go 95.
Well, with the kicking game Luke Brooks possesses, I thought he could have just got that one through. Smart play, though. If it's not on, you're not confident. Just dive with the football. That's a great run from Kenny Dow.
Oh, then the sloppy play the ball, but he milked it cleverly. They got the penalty. Sometimes you see that go another way.
You do. And Jamie Buhrer has moved into the halfback position. Big responsibility on Jack Cogger's shoulders. Kalen Ponga, I'm sure he'll be prominent in this set.
Griffin. Barnett to set it up. Should be able to work their way into the red zone, you'd reckon. Saifidi. Flat service from Griffin. Runner in motion. SESE. Yates lining up for it. They go down the short side instead for Cogger. Out the back to Ponga. Ponga! Kalen Ponga putting some footwork on. They were rising in Tamworth for the kid. Couldn't quite finish it off. Now on the last, Buhrer is going to kick crossfield. Kenny Dow! Kenny Dow! Sean Kenny Dow! He had a nightmare earlier, but he's put Newcastle in front with less than 2 minutes to go. And Jamie Buhrer, deputising as the playmaker for Mitchell Pearce, who's off with the HIA, pulled the right rein.
Well, the right rein. What a kick under pressure, Jamie Buhrer. But take your hat off to Kalen Ponga over there on the left edge. Went straight out the back, but it all came from this. Sean Kenny Dow fights to play the ball, plants the ball on the ground. Godinay can't get out of there. You're right, Speedy, it is 50-50, it can go either way. This was off the back of the Kalen Ponga break. Jamie Buhrer thought, oh my God, what do I do? Puts it on the right boot. Sean Kenny Dow catches it under all sorts of pressure. Look at that. I thought it come off the shin at first. Struck it beautifully, though. And Sean Kenny Dow, what a moment for the Newcastle Knights. They've had some amazing finishes in 2018. Against Manly round 1, we went into extra time. The Canberra Raiders was one on the bell. The Brisbane Broncos went down to the death. And that just does wonders for the culture of the club at Newcastle.
And they've looked a threat from so many kicks in the last 10 minutes or so. And you think back to what happened at the other end, not just the penalty, but the finish to the set. Luke Brooks took the tackle. They were spooked by Benji giving away a 7-tackle set the previous time, so they thought, oh, don't kick it dead, and didn't get a kick away at all.
Spot on, Speedy. Good point.
Well, Ponga's been sacked. Kenny CO takes over.
He can do no wrong tonight, Kenny. Hat-trick man.
Clock stops. 32 seconds to go. Oh! He struck it well, but again, that breeze, a factor, pushed across the face once more. So another 5 seconds came off the clock. Short kickoff coming. Are the Knights ready for that?
Well, they've got too many people back deep. And looking at the way they're setting up, again, great kick, great catch, Sean Kenny Dow. The Newcastle Knights, they want to be careful here. Up comes Sione Matautia and Vura now.
And how good was it? No bunker required, and the fans got right into it. They didn't have to wait for any replays.
Exactly.
They just gave the try. Benji goes for it.
Go on, Ken.
It's tidied up, and that'll do it, surely, unless they can get a one-on-one strip going. Esan Masters looking for that, hoping for that. Fitzgibbon saying, what are we calling? Held or play on? Look at making sure of the ball control. Slade Griffin, a premiership winner with the Storm last year, thought about feigning for cramp. Siren will sound. Oh, Rostock thinking about putting the cherry on top. The Newcastle Knights, what a win for them. They are into the 8 after snatching victory from the West Tigers. They improved to 4-3. And that is a win that does so much for them on the road in Tamworth, in the high-vis gear. They get it done in the last couple of minutes. They jumped over the top of Wateni Zelezniak. Sean Kenny Dow comes up with the match winner. Full-time at Scully Park in Tamworth. They have seen an absolute ripper. Newcastle 22, the West Tigers 20.